Are you drug-free at this point? I know you mentioned drugs previously in conversation.
Does weed count? If weed counts, then I smoke here and there. My name is Indika. Come on, but as far as everything else, yes.
Okay. You mentioned there was a time in your life when you were addicted to drugs or a certain drug. Care to share what that drug was?
Yeah, I was addicted to cocaine. I popped pills like a fucking maniac. I liked shrooms. I liked acid. And weed was always in the equation. But cocaine was the one that made me lose my mind.
Now, were you addicted to all these drugs or was it cocaine out of all these drugs?
I feel like, yeah, I was addicted to all of them because I had my periods of time. So I won't do coke and pop pills and then do this and that. I did every drug one at a time. So when I was doing the pills, oh, I was getting loose with it. Me and my cousin, we would go to me and my cousin would go to Hollywood, bring some girls. We would all be pilled up for no reason, just looking like crackheads with our eyes looking this big. And then I had to learn that that wasn't cute.
And this was the same cousin you're referencing that's on your father's side?
No, this is just my cousin Pino.
On your mother's side?
Yes.
Okay. You listed a number of different drugs here. I'd like to go through them one by one
Okay.
on how you were able to beat the addiction.
Okay.
Because circumstances could be different for everybody, but there may be somebody watching this that's battling an addiction with one of these drugs and wondering, how did you do it?
Facts.
Okay, so let's go through those drugs one by one. Let's start with cocaine first. How were you able to beat that addiction?
Ooh, cocaine. I can't even cap. I used to be at work. I worked at Amazon. I would be at work doing cocaine in the bathroom. Like, I was lit. I ain't gonna lie. And I ain't gonna lie, coke is fun. I'm not gonna lie. I overcame it though, and I'm glad I overcame it. I was able to overcome it because you know what? I did it for like, I think a year and a half straight, every day. Like, I lived with people that did coke. Everybody in the house sold coke. We would sit around the dinner table, like having family dinners, doing cocaine like some weirdos, nigga. Like, so I did that for a year and a half straight. Party, 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 do coke, coke, coke. And then you know what? One of the people that I thought was my friend laced me with meth. And after I got laced with meth, I stayed up for 3 days straight. My eyes were like this, like the whole, I promise you, like I would try to sleep and they would be blinking fast as hell, even when I closed them. My nose was cut up, the inside was cut up. My nose bled for months after I stopped doing coke. I would blow my nose and have big chunks of blood clots for months. But the last time I did it was when I got laced with meth, and that was the scariest experience of my life. I thought I was gonna die. I was terrified of people. Like, I remember trying to go to work and sitting in the car for hours on end because every time I would like get the courage to get up and like try to go in, I would hear someone walk by and get scared. And once I realized I was acting like that, I was like, oh, hell nah, because I'm not ugly. You know, that's ugly nigga shit. Like, I'm too fly for that. So it was a hard one, but I feel like getting laced with meth, definitely, like, that was the one. And then after that, I left those friends alone. That's when I went to my dad's house, and I just tried to get my mind right.
So you literally quit that drug like the flip of a light switch.
Cold
It was
turkey.
instant. Okay.
Cold turkey.
And how long have you been coke-free since? Rough estimate.
Like 4 years.
Okay, you mentioned some other drugs. I didn't get a chance to write them down, but what were the other drugs? Remind me one more time.
I liked Teslas. Yeah. That's a Tesla is a pill.
Okay, I remember you mentioned acid, shrooms. What else did you mention?
Acid, shrooms, coke. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Acid. Let's start with that. How long were you doing that for, and how did you quit that addiction?
Okay, acid was like the most minor drug that I did. That wasn't even long. I did that like 3 times and I was over it.
And what got you to stop?
It wasn't strong enough. I liked shrooms way better. I would be twisted.
So with acid, that again too was the flip of a light switch?
Yeah.
And
This is lame.
And how long has it been since the last time you've done it?
Like 5 years.
Okay. Well, let's climb the ladder a little bit further and talk about shrooms. How long were you doing that for?
I did shrooms probably for like 4 months, 5 months.
And what got you to stop?
You know what? Okay, so on Halloween a couple years ago, I hosted an event and it was a shroom bus, and it was like me hosting it, so I was all over the flyer, and there was random people that had bought tickets, and their energy felt like super weird, but I ignored it. As soon as we did the shrooms, I looked over at one of the boys. I remember he looked like a fucking alien, and I was terrified. So I ended up getting off the shroom bus. We were at the beach. It was supposed to go to multiple spots. So I got off at the beach, and that was the scariest experience of my whole life. Like, after that, I was like, I'm over this shit. But basically, it was me. It was this girl I was talking to, and one of my homeboys, just looking like crackheads, running around trying to get back to the Ritz-Carlton. That was the last time I did shrooms. I got scared.
For those watching that aren't familiar with the phrase, what is a shroom bus?
Oh, okay, so it was a party bus, but the theme was shrooms. So everybody on there, literally, we were drinking shroom tea. There was shroom chocolate. Like, it was beyond shrooms, you know? Everybody was twisted, and I feel like shrooms shows you the inner you. And in that moment, I was very demonic. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I didn't have God in my heart yet. So when I really started fucking with psychedelics and I'm looking in the mirror and I look like a demon and I'm getting scared of myself. I'm like, I don't like this drug. The fuck? I like to be high because I like to just be like, woo! But when shrooms began to be like, oh no, like I'm looking demonic and acting creepy, I didn't want it no more. And if you feel demonic when you do shrooms, stop doing it and get right with God.
And again, that was like the flip of a light switch when you quit. And how long has it been since you've been shroom free?
I'm not gonna lie, I think I did some shrooms. So when I wrote Hard Eyes featuring Lil B, I was on shrooms. But that was just some random shit. I didn't go out of my way for it at all. I was actually living somewhere, and one of my roommates was like, I got shrooms. So I'm like, all right, start eating them. And then I wrote that song, so.
And how long ago was that approximately?
I'd say it was in July of last year.
2021.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last drug on the list, unless I'm forgetting something that you had an addiction to, was a pill, referred to as a Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the scientific name of this pill?
Tesla. Oh, well, it's not MDMA, I want to say. It's not ecstasy. It's like a step up from ecstasy. I think it's like MDMA pills if you look it up.
Okay. And how long were you doing that for?
I was twisted for a minute. Probably like 2 years. 2 years.
Okay. And what got you to stop?
You know, I was doing it a lot. I was popping hella pills. My cousin had went to jail. I remember me and him popped like 7, 8 pills. And I was already starting to feel like a loser at that point because I was just too twisted in it. But I didn't want to stop, like, because it's fun. You know, you pop a pill and everything just goes whoosh. Like, you could be bored and then pop a pill and everything's just like 20 million times funner. But my friend passed away. Rest in peace, Silver. My friend passed away. And after that, I feel like I just started thinking about my life more and taking it serious.
And that was, again, the flip of a light switch. And 2 things. You mentioned the phrase jail. Are we talking county jail for him at the time, or is jail short for, like, state prison or federal prison?
He went to state prison.
Okay. And this was the cousin on your mother's side, the same cousin that you did cocaine with?
No, we didn't do cocaine. We did pills together.
Oh, okay.
You gonna have him like, what the fuck?
Got it. And when's the last time you touched that pill?
So long I can't even remember. Plus, my memory is all fucked up from drugs, so I really can't remember.
Okay. And it sounds like on this ladder of drugs that we have built, it sounds like, if my memory serves me right, acid was at the bottom, then it stepped up to shrooms, then it stepped up to the Tesla, and then cocaine was the big one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the actual order of drugs you experienced throughout your life?
The craziest part was I started with cocaine. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so give me the order of that trajectory there. It was cocaine first, then what?
It was weed. Smoked a lot, never got high no more. When you smoke a lot too much, you stop getting high. And I was one of those people, I had a lot of pain inside of me, so I wanted to be high. So when the weed stopped working, I did coke it wasn't on accident. I did it to stop someone else from doing it. I was dating somebody. I was like, please don't do it. She basically said she'll stop if I tried it with her. I tried it. I didn't feel shit. So I'm just like, man, I didn't even feel it. So then I did it again. Next thing you know, I'm addicted to it. So then it was cocaine. And then after I got laced with meth, I stopped doing that. And then I started popping pills because I still wanted to be high. I had a big hole in me I wanted to fill, and drugs was doing it for me in the moment. It was making me happy. I could smile and I was social. I didn't feel depressed. I felt good, like a butterfly. So then it was the pills, and then I stopped with the pills. Then it was the shrooms, and then I started feeling demonic. Then it was the acid, and then after that, the acid, like I said, it was real brief. I didn't care for it. I was like, I barely feel high. I might as well be sober.
Now, you still do marijuana, but not an addiction to marijuana?
No addiction. I stop all the time.
Now, when it came to any of these drugs, and I have a couple more questions in regards to them, and then I'll be done with that segment with you. But when it came to any of these drugs, were any of them for medical purposes, or were they all recreational?
They're recreational.
Did any of them begin as medical purposes?
No.